The things that I believed are influenced by my environment and my experiences. So I had to take myself out of my environment and I had to look at it through an open mind and say, okay, this makes more sense in the time that it was revealed. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my channel. Ramadan is coming up very, very soon. It's coming up in less than a month, which is really exciting. Last Ramadan was such a pivotal moment in my life that this Ramadan has to match it in some way. But I want to talk about the ways in which Ramadan has changed me, the lessons I learned from fully immersing myself in Ramadan, and how it has made me a better Muslim. So first, I want to talk about why I decided to fully immerse myself in Ramadan. I grew up as a Muslim. My parents raised me as a Muslim. Around the ages of 20 to 22, I'm currently 23, almost 24, I decided to really question my faith. I wanted to fully, comfortably say that I knew what I was practicing and that I was practicing with intention. There are so many questions I didn't ask myself in the past. I didn't like the fact that I read the Quran and I didn't try to understand the Quran. Like, that to me was something that I needed to confront. I needed to tell myself, what did you get out of this surah? What did you get out of this chapter? I had to really figure that out. And I wasn't doing that in the past when I was reading. Something that was hard for me and that was a struggle when I was reading the Quran was there were things that I was reading that went against my morals and my beliefs. And I thought to myself, am I going to reject this book because there's some things that I did not really agree with? Like, for example, I think when you grow up in a Western society and you're taught a lot about feminism and it's ingrained into your mind that, times have changed, right? We're not way back in the 20th century where women weren't able to vote. So opening the Quran and reading things that kind of went against that, it made me think, am I following something that's against what I believe? That was a hard pill to swallow. And that's just one example. There are many examples, but that's just one example. Then I realized, okay, it's not just Islam, it's other religions. So yeah, I ended up going down this rabbit hole of opening the Quran, being confused about things that went against my morals and my beliefs, and then trying to understand it outside of my own Western mindset. The things that I believed are influenced by my environment and my experiences. So I had to take myself out of my environment and I had to look at it through an open mind and say, okay, this makes more sense in the time that it was revealed. It seems wrong because I'm looking at it through a Western lens, when the reality is, it does make more sense. And actually, it made me rediscover myself as a person. So I went down that rabbit hole of being confused about certain verses, feeling uncomfortable reading certain verses, and then analyzing it and understanding it and seeking other perspectives, not just my own, seeking all sorts of perspectives. And it helped me really understand what I was reading. And it made me feel more comfortable the more and more I was reading the Quran. I felt like I was fully immersed in what I was reading, and I felt like I was really understanding what I was reading, and it made me feel like this is the answer, this is the truth. Discovering that, honestly, it made me feel more confident in my faith. It made me feel more confident in wearing the hijab. And so during Ramadan, I was actively reading the Quran, and I was going to the masjid and I was praying. Before I went to the masjid, I would read the surah that was going to be recited in Taraweeh, and I analyzed the verses. I read the stories in each surah. You have to understand what you're reading. You have to understand what you're reading. And it will make prayer so much better. When you understand Surah Fatiha, when you understand that Allah is showing us His mercy every single time you read Surah Fatiha, that alone will set you up for success in life. And the reason why I say that is because we're asked to pray 5 times a day. He commanded us to pray 5 times a day. And 5 times a day throughout your whole day. You have school, you have work, you have other activities in your life. Throughout your whole day, Allah is reminding us that he is forgiving, that he wants us to be grateful towards him. And he wants us to know that he extends his forgiveness to us when we make mistakes. He's simply asking us to strive to be the best versions of ourselves that we could possibly be, the best Muslims that we could possibly be. That's what I discovered during Ramadan when I chose to really analyze the Quran and I chose to really fully immerse myself in the Quran and understand what I was reading, connecting to the words of Allah. That's what made me a better Muslim. That's what was missing from the past. When I would pray, I'd be like, I'd do I'd say all the words and, recite the prayer, but I wasn't understanding what I was reading. I wasn't trying to connect to Allah. I wasn't trying to make my words matter. And that's a problem. And then also, something that I worked on was after each prayer, I reached out to Allah in the language that I know best, which is English. It was awkward at first because it's like, I don't know, like whenever I see my mom pray or whenever I see somebody pray, they're praying in like Arabic, they're doing Arabic, their duas, or they're praying in, my mom would pray in her native tongue. And I'd be like, I don't know, when I speak in English, it sounds weird. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get at it and the more genuine it becomes. The more I started talking to Allah after my prayers, the more connected I felt to Allah. Felt like he was listening to me. I wasn't just doing duas, I was talking to my creator. I was talking to Allah. There's no greater feeling than when your heart is warm and your heart is full while you're reaching out to God, while you're reaching out to Allah. Because even though you can't see, you're talking to what's unseen. You're talking to this divine, holy, unseen. You cannot see God, right? We can't see Allah, but we're reaching out to Allah. I think that's what made my prayers felt more genuine, and it just made me feel protected. I was alone. Y'all, when I say I was alone during Ramadan, I was by myself. Usually when I'm like alone, I feel scared and anxious. Having that connection to Allah made me feel protected. It made me feel safe. It made me feel like if anything happened to me, I'm good. I know I can't see Allah, but I know that he sees all my actions and he hears all my words, and that I hope that I embody the creation that he is proud of. That's what made me feel very close to Allah during Ramadan, and that's what made Ramadan so different for me from the other Ramadan. And also, giving up music. I'm gonna be honest, I listen to music religiously. And I'm gonna be even more honest, I still listen to some songs while I work out because it's hard, when I'm still figuring out how to like not listen to music when I work out. But I don't know, when I work out, it's just really hard. That's the only way I can motivate myself to work out. To be fair, I changed. Like I used to listen to music that was like super like for example, I used to listen to like Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, and yeah, I just stopped listening to them. And now it feels weird. Like when I listen to a song that has like explicit language, it makes me feel very uncomfortable and I switch it. I'd rather listen to a song that's like a lot more modest, but even then, like I'm working on it. I'm working on like completely cutting out music. So that's a work in progress, and I'm gonna come back to y'all when I figure that out. But during Ramadan, I try not to listen to music at all. And I succeeded. I didn't listen to any music, and my mind felt very clear from that. The one major thing that I did that was really, really hard was deleting my social media. I'm not like a massive influencer, but on TikTok, I had a good following. I had 45,000 followers. I'm pretty sure it has been going down since then, but I had a lot of followers and I had a lot of videos that went viral. I had videos that reached 100,000 likes, 300,000, 700,000 likes, and millions of views. But the problem was, each and every one of those videos, I was using music as the audio. And also, in each and every one of those videos, I was not wearing modesty in the way that I should have. I wasn't being modest in my dressing. I feel like there could have been better ways that I phrased that. I wasn't modest. I wore my hair in a turban style. I would wear short sleeve. And when I decided to delete those videos was actually at the end of Ramadan. So the last Tarawih. I remember when I was younger, I saw people, when I saw people cry during Tarawih, I never understood it. I was like, how are you crying, bro? How? And so as I got older and with this Ramadan, understanding what I was reading, understanding the heaviness of the words of Allah that were being recited, it made me feel those emotions that the people that I saw, that were crying when I was younger, it made me feel the same emotions as them. The emotions that I felt were intense fear and intense love. Having intense love for Allah, wanting to be close to Allah, and fear of becoming a person that falls astray, That was such a pivotal moment. And I remember at the end of that, I went home and I thought to myself, what am I going to do when my life goes back to normal? I'm no longer praying Tarawih, fasting. I'm no longer really immersing myself in the religion. What am I going to do when all of this is gone? I was so scared. I was like, well, I have to permanently change something. I want Allah to know that I never want to go back to my old self after this. So I deleted all my videos on TikTok and on my Instagram. And that was hard for me because I guess I don't want to say I had really low self-esteem in high school. But when I went viral on TikTok in college, I felt like I just really liked the validation. It kind of gave me a boost of confidence and raised my self-esteem. So having to delete all those videos were hard, but I knew that I would need to remind myself why I did it. I knew that when I opened TikTok and I saw those videos were gone, that was going to remind me that I did this huge thing that was really difficult for me. I'm sad to say that it was really difficult. Now I wouldn't hesitate to do it, but back then I was like, and so I deleted them, and I wanted it to be a reminder that, okay, I did this because I am a different person. I did this because Ramadan 2023 changed my life, and I don't want to go back to the person that I was before. So my advice to you is, I want you to fully immerse yourself in Ramadan. I want you to do these few things that may or may not help you, but will most likely help you. Try to consistently go to the masjid, consistently go to Tarawih. I understand that there are commitments. If you have commitments, try and at least make some of the Tarawih prayers, or try watching it or listening to it through your ears whenever you can. Try and watch khutbahs and lectures and podcasts about the surah, the translation of the Quran and stuff. Try and confront your own biases, confront your own beliefs that are influenced by the environment that you grew up in. I had to confront my own biases and my own beliefs that made me hesitant towards, certain revelations. And then try and involve yourself in other ways besides fasting during Ramadan. Fasting is essential, but don't just fast from food. Fast from swearing, fast from music, fast from bad friendship. If you can practice that for a month, it will make it easy for you to continue doing that for the rest of the year and then the rest of your life. When you actively work on these things during Ramadan, it will make you a better person and it will change your life. Inshallah, may Ramadan bring you joy and happiness, make you a better Muslim as it has made me a better Muslim, and may this Ramadan make us closer to Allah. I Hope you like this video. What plans do you have during Ramadan that you want to share?